Hydrocarbons are the simplest organic compounds. They are made of only carbon and hydrogen atoms and contain two types of bonds. Can you name those two types of bonds which are there in the hydrocarbons? Type number one is carbon hydrogen bonds. They are called as terminal bonds at the end, whereas one more bond is carbon carbon bond. This becomes the main carbon chain. They do not contain any functional group. And saturated hydrocarbons are supposed to be the parent compounds of all other aliphatic organic compounds. Therefore, they are also referred to as parent hydrocarbons. A particular organic compound can be obtained by replacing hydrogen with an appropriate functional group. That means hydrocarbons are the starting material or the basic organic compounds from which we can prepare many other organic compounds. From this statement, we will come to know that hydrocarbons are very useful organic compounds. They are most versatile organic compounds. And today's life depends on many hydrocarbons and their derivatives. They have become part and parcel of our life, starting from small use in the kitchen, in the vehicle, plastic, polymer, paint, drugs, medicines. The list goes on and on. That means if you see the uses of hydrocarbons, the list is endless. Now it is high time to study little about hydrocarbons in the 11th class. My dear students, I welcome for the today's session on hydrocarbons. After understanding the first part of organic chemistry, now we are entering into the second part of organic chemistry. And in the second part of organic chemistry, especially in the 11th class, we are going to discuss hydrocarbons in brief. Okay. And in the 12th class, second part of chemistry is fully organic chemistry. So therefore, once again, I welcome you all for today's session on hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons, as usual, I said already, they contain only carbon and hydrogen. To make the study of hydrocarbons simple, let us classify hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are classified into two categories: saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Saturated means what? Valence is saturated. No multiple bond, only single bond. Whether it is a CC bond or CH bond, we will have what? Single bond only. C and H, always they go for the single bond only, no question. Why? Because the valency of H is 1. We will have multiple bond only between the carbon. Okay. So that is not there here in the case of what? Saturated hydrocarbons. That's why he says no carbon multiple bonds, only single bonds between the carbon. Unsaturated hydrocarbons, where the valency is not satisfied, for this reason they go for the sideway overlap and resulting into the formation of what? Either a double or triple, and in general they are called as what? Multiple bonds, and they contain carbon multiple bonds, minimum 1, maximum left to them, how they go for. Okay, right. And these saturated hydrocarbons are also known as alkanes. And in the unsaturated hydrocarbons, again there are three types. One is alkenes, the other one is alkynes, and the other one is what? Aromatics. Okay. All these already we learned at the 10th class, this chart. Okay. This is a small recap for you from the 10th class. Now, directly we go to the first part. So after knowing the chart, now our next point of discussion is every unit, that is alkane, alkene, alkyne, and the aromatic arenes. Aromatic hydrocarbons are also called as arenes. Aromatic aromatic with a double bond in arene. Okay. For all the four class of compounds, for all four class of hydrocarbons, we have to study preparation, properties, and uses. And in between, here and there, structure part or the isomerism part or some other part will mix. Otherwise, main discussion is preparation, property, and uses. And the same knowledge you will apply in the industry, and that becomes the application of hydrocarbons. Okay. So let us start. First part, what? Preparation of alkanes. Many methods are there, and we pinpoint only on the some methods. Okay, but petroleum and natural gas are the main source of alkanes. So petroleum is a natural, what is that? A fossil fuel. Okay, it contains many hydrocarbons. You go for the fractional distillation, we get from methane onwards, depend upon the boiling point, variety of hydrocarbons. But that is one method. But in the industry, in the laboratory, on a small scale, we also prepare hydrocarbons, and they are prepared by three methods for the 11th class: from unsaturated hydrocarbons, from alkyl halides, and from carboxylic acids. Okay. Now one by one we will study. Right? Okay. First is using the unsaturated hydrocarbons, which contains either double or triple bond. Okay. Now this is unsaturated. Right? How to make it saturated? Just add hydrogen. Okay, this two hydrogen atoms will add equally on the double bond, one H on this carbon, one H on this carbon, so that CH2 becomes one H CH3, and this CH2 becomes one H one more H CH3. In the presence of D block material catalyst, we get a saturated ethane. So in this way, unsaturated hydrocarbons are converted into saturated hydrocarbons in the presence of D block metals as a catalyst. In the same way, propene, and the hydrogen adds only in the double bond, because here only it is the requirement. Here already it is full, all valencies. Okay, so here valency is not satisfied, therefore one hydrogen is here, one hydrogen here, and they adds up, and ultimately CH3 CH2 CH3 propane. In the same way, propine. Okay, propine. Here he has taken only one H2, but here he has taken two H2. Why? Because if I take one H2, so one H here, what happens here? CH3, CH, CH, and this H CH2. Okay, so CH3, CH, CH2, and double bond becomes what? Triple bond becomes the double bond. Again unsaturation. Again you convert it. Again add one more H2 molecule. Therefore, instead of going for the two steps, he has gone for the only single step. Directly you take the two hydrogen molecules, so they add up equally. First step is conversion of the triple to the double. Next step is double to the single. Ultimately, we will get what? Propine to propene, propene to the propane. So in this way, saturated or the alkanes are prepared from the multiple bond hydrocarbons, that is unsaturated hydrocarbons. Okay, right. Now preparation of alkanes from the alkyl halides. What are alkyl halides? Alkyl are the groups. Halides are the which contains the halogen. So alkyl halides means what? Alkyl halides means from the alkane, remove one hydrogen and add one halogen. That becomes the alkyl halide. For example, methane, remove one H, then add one halogen CH3Cl. That is the alkyl halide in general, and the particular name is what? Methyl chloride. Ethane, C2H6, remove one hydrogen, then add an halogen. So C2H5Br, ethyl bromide. So these are called what? Alkyl halides. Alkyl halides are derived by the replacement of one hydrogen, minimum one. You can replace 2, 3, 4 left you, but minimum you replace one hydrogen by halogen. That becomes the alkyl halide or haloalkanes according to the IUPAC nomenclature, and they are used to prepare the alkanes. How? Let us see here. Chloromethane, IUPAC, methyl chloride is the common name with hydrogen. Okay, so CH3 plus 1H becomes CH4. Remaining H and Cl becomes HCl is the byproduct. Okay, chloromethane to methane in the presence of what? Zinc, and in the presence of what? Acid, because they are usually carried in the acid medium, because alkyls are very reactive in the acidic medium. Right? Okay, now chloroethane. One H and Cl, HCl as usual, and remaining is what? Ethane. In the same way, one chloropropane, remove one Cl with HCl, remaining all propane. In this way, alkyl halides are converted into what? Alkanes are the saturated hydrocarbons. Okay, right. Now, part. These are also alkyl halides only. These are also alkyl halides, but you see the type of reaction. Two alkyl halides are taken here. One is ethyl iodide, other one is methyl iodide, okay, or iodomethane or the iodoethane as per the IUPAC. Now they are clubbed in the presence of sodium metal, okay, and using dry ether as the medium, because sodium catches fire in the moist condition. So they use other than water, organic solvent, ether, to carry out the sodium reactions, especially sodium and the potassium reactions. Okay, right. So what happens here? Two sodium will take two iodine atoms, becomes two NaI. What is left here? Left is CH3, CH2, CH3 propane. That's all. So when you club two alkyl halide with the sodium metal, you will get the alkyl halide, and this is the research work of a famous scientist, Wurtz. Therefore, this reaction is called as what? Wurtz reaction. WURTZ. Wurtz reaction. So Wurtz reaction is what? It is reaction of sodium metal. Other things are not important. He was working action of sodium metal on different organic compounds. So therefore, these reactions are named as Wurtz reaction. Okay, you see here these two are similar alkyl halide. Okay, you can take similar alkyl halide like methyl iodide, or ethyl iodide, or you can take the different alkyl halides. One is methyl, one is ethyl, left to you, but they will go for two sodium iodide. Here you can take ethyl chloride, ethyl bromide, anything, any alkyl halide. Okay, so with the sodium is important here. Sodium is important. Okay, so and the condition is dry ether, so that alkyl halide is forms, and respective sodium iodide, that is a side product. Okay, now let us, next is what? By decarboxylation of carboxylic acid. First, let us understand what is meant by decarboxylation. Hydrogenation, addition of hydrogen. Dehydrogenation, removal of hydrogen. Okay. In the same way, carboxylation, creating the carboxylic group. Decarboxylation, we will convert the carboxyl group into some other group. That means we are destroying. So, or we are removing the carboxylic group. Some other compound is formed from the decarboxylation. So, decarboxylation is what? We rearrange the carboxylic group. Okay, that is called decarboxylation of the carbonic acid. This we'll learn tomorrow with examples. Now, time being, we will wind up, and tomorrow we will meet once again. Thank you, my dear boys.